Okay, so how can one of the safest cities in the entire world also be a favorite hideout for some of the most notorious criminals, drug lords, and even terrorists? It just doesn't add up, right? Well, today we're going to try and unravel that exact paradox, the story of Dubai.
So, to really get this, let's just paint a quick picture. Imagine one of the world's most wanted men, right? He's just chilling, sipping a coffee on like the 40th floor of the Burj Khalifa. Then all of a sudden, you hear police sirens wailing down below. But here's the kicker. They're not for him. Nope. They're chasing down someone who stole a phone. And that's Dubai in a nutshell. You steal a phone, you're going to jail. But if you're behind a, say, $26 billion fraud, you get protection.
So you have to ask, is this whole thing just a massive, glaring oversight? Or is this exactly how the system was designed to work? Well, to answer that, we've got to look at how Dubai actually operates. There was this groundbreaking report called Dubai Unlocked, and it basically peeled back the curtain on a system that seems, well, tailor-made for people with something to hide. We're talking about cocaine kingpins, African dictators, sanctioned oligarchs, you name it. They all seem to park their billions in Dubai's glittering towers. And the sheer scale of this it's just staggering. I mean, we're talking about the mastermind of the 1993 Mumbai blasts, the infamous crypto queen, even a designated drug lord with a $5 million bounty on his head. And the craziest part, they're not even hiding. They're living out in the open pretty much as welcome guests.
And if you want to understand the mindset, this one quote really says it all. An undercover journalist went to a top real estate agent and asked, hey, does it matter if this cash is from, let's just say, illegal activities? The agent's answer was brutally simple. We don't care. It is none of our concern.
So how on earth is this possible? Well, the whole system is really built on 4 key pillars. You've got opaque real estate, which makes it super hard to trace anything. They accept cash and crypto, no questions asked. They have very limited extradition treaties, and to top it all off, there's the Golden Visa program.
But here's where the story gets really complicated. Was this system actually designed just to harbor criminals, or was there something else going on entirely? To really get it, we have to go back like 60 years and try to put ourselves in the shoes of Dubai's ruler at the time. I mean, when it's a matter of pure survival, what do you choose? Money or principles?
What Sheikh Rashid was facing was basically a real-life version of that classic ethics puzzle, the trolley problem. You know the one, right? Do you actively do something that you know will cause some harm to prevent a much, much greater harm from happening? It's an impossible choice, and that's exactly what the leader of this dying city was up against. Yeah, it's hard to picture now, but Dubai was not always this global metropolis. Not even close. Back in the early 20th century, it was on the absolute brink of collapse. First, the invention of cultured pearls just completely wiped out its main economy overnight. Then the Great Depression hit, and as if that wasn't enough, then came the Great Famine, a time of actual mass starvation. And then finally, a glimmer of hope. Oil. The whole Gulf region was striking black gold. It seemed like it was finally Dubai's turn to get lucky, but it wasn't. They found only about 4 billion barrels. I mean, compared to their neighbors, that's a tiny, almost insignificant drop. So, just like that, Dubai was right back where it started. Broke, desperate, and basically invisible to the rest of the world. So, facing total ruin, Sheikh Rashid knew he couldn't play by the same rules as everyone else. It just wouldn't work. He had to invent a completely different game.
And his plan was, well, it was absolutely audacious. He took out a massive loan, but not to build a palace for himself. No, he used it to dredge the Dubai Creek so big ships could get in. He threw open the borders, built warehouses, and then he made his most iconic, game-changing decision. Dubai would be open for business, for everyone, with super low taxes and 0 questions asked.
And this new no questions asked policy? It almost immediately found its first big customer, India's black market for gold. See, gold would arrive in Dubai perfectly legally, and then it would get smuggled into India, where its price basically doubled. Think about it. Pearl diving was dead, oil was a bust, it was gold smuggling that gave Dubai a brand new lease on life.
But here is the final, and maybe most important twist. Sheikh Rashid didn't actually invent this model. Not at all. He was just a really, really good student of history. He looked at the powerful, developed nations of the world and realized that behind their shiny, respectable exteriors, there was often a much darker past. He didn't invent the game, he just decoded how it had been played for centuries.
I mean, take London, for example.
Today, we think of it as this super respectable global financial capital. But its rise to power was fueled by some seriously questionable wealth. Everything from colonial plunder to, more recently, the money of sanctioned oligarchs. Even the UK's own Deputy Foreign Secretary admitted that London is a hub for dirty money. The playbook was simple. Get the wealth first and worry about morality later.
Or what about Switzerland? Their whole brand is neutrality. But in practice, neutrality often just meant we don't ask where the money came from. Nazi gold, dictators' assets, all kinds of illegal funds. They were all safe in Swiss banks. They just gave it a fancy name, right? They called it banking secrecy or financial privacy. It's the exact same system, just with better marketing.
So this is the really crucial point here. These powerful Western nations, they didn't invent morality. They afforded it. They built their incredible wealth on things like colonialism, slavery, and war. And it was only after they got rich that they started writing the global rulebook on ethics and law.
And that brings us all the way back to Dubai's paradox. See, Sheikh Rashid didn't invent a new game, he just played the old one with a kind of brutal honesty. Because when your city is starving, a clean system doesn't save you, an efficient system does. Which leaves us with one last, really challenging question to think about. Is morality a core principle you can build a nation on from day one? Or is it a luxury that only the rich and powerful can ever truly afford?